What's up, everybody? Thrift Shopping here. What I'm going to be showing you today is a little bit of a conversation that we had on stream today. We've had this conversation quite often, but I felt like it was finally time to actually bring it into video format so it can be shown to everybody. But some of the information that we got on April 6th in the headline regarding people AFK in rooms, I was personally really disappointed in how Sega handled that situation, basically just telling people how to report and not really addressing why AFKing in these rooms is such a problem. PSO2 and PSO2 NGS is really unique in how acquiring items and gathering EXP works. And I know personally for me, no other game operates like NGS when it comes to looting. It's not necessarily a natural thing for a player just to identify that this is bannable or this is abusable. And so this video is just us talking about some of the ways that we as a community can do a lot better with the problem at hand. So we're not false banning people, but we're still punishing people who are abusing idling strategies. Oh, good luck, definitely. See ya. See you later, Mike. Are they really going to ban people if they AFK? Like, even if they don't think about a boot off the game type of thing? So, it's another video topic I need to really bring up. It's bannable here, 100%. 100% Delta. The biggest issue though, and I mentioned this yesterday when we were streaming, but like my biggest irritation is that Sega failed the community in the respect that like they should have informed the community through their headline, why is it such a significant thing to be idling or AFK in these areas? And that's what they should have addressed. And then after that announce, this is why it is bannable. To simply just be like, this is how you report people is really frustrating, because like, what the fuck? Like, you're just arming people. They're just going to report people without any sort of justification. They're just going to, oh, I see this guy standing here, I'm going to report him. Well, like, we need to learn how to communicate, and we need to also understand that like Xbox players are playing too. And so this is like one of my biggest frustrations with Sega is like, I think they handled it really poorly, because I don't think they realized the significance of this game and how unique this game is when it comes to looting. Like, there's like no other game where you just stand around and get loot. You have to like usually kill somebody. You have to run up to like the body. You have to like right click to loot the body. And that's how you get loot. You don't just like stand around and kill stuff and then loot just goes in your inventory. This is a very unique game. So to just assume that people right off the get-go are going to understand that, oh, I should probably make sure I don't AFK somewhere where monsters are around, because, well, I'd be looting unintentionally, but that could look bad. Like, that's, you're not thinking about that. So once again, like, people who have joined our farms, I wonder how many of them are A, on Xbox and can't really type that quick, or B, just don't even think about that and just AFK. People get easily offended when someone is idle for a bit. It's understandable though, Vixie. It really is. You know, like, you're taking advantage of someone else's work. If I see someone's literally run to my spot while I'm training and just stand there, that guy's taking advantage of me playing the game, and that's rude. That's rude. Communication should be a really important thing to this game. If you have to AFK, if you have the ability to, especially if you're playing on the PC, you should probably announce to people, hey, BRB, I'll be back in a few minutes. Something of that nature, so we understand why you're AFK. But people literally just running to a spot and just going idle, why? Now, when I say that, while I say that, there are Xbox players, and I think we all forget that this is a console game. And that's another thing you have to 100% remember, because it's pretty difficult on Xbox to like pause the game and then type, unless you have the keyboard, which not everybody has. It would take you multiple minutes to type out, hey, I'll be right back in just a few minutes. Well, in that case, that person might as well just leave, right? And go AFK and then be back soon, right? That would make more sense. So I think a lot of the time where people are like really mad at somebody being idle, it's probably a console gamer that doesn't have the ability to chat. But that's why we can't just rush to conclusions and be like, oh, this guy's idle, he's AFK, he's taking advantage. It's called communication. It's called asking them, hey, what's up? Are you idle? Are you AFK? If I saw somebody come onto my screen and say, hey, are you AFK? I would probably do something about that to make sure I wouldn't get banned, right? If I was even on console, I would probably like stop selling and like move around real quick so they know I'm here. But like everybody has to understand that that's a thing, right? Like the problem right now is just people forget that there's console gamers. I forget that there's console gamers. It's really hard to communicate on an Xbox, you know? So yeah, that's just a thing we have to remember. I don't know. If I want to AFK in the middle of farming for 5 minutes, I'm going to do it. If I get bans, it's whatever. Well, that's what I'm trying to say is as a community, we need to be better about not just headhunting. We need to be better about understanding that the ability to just simply type is really difficult and that isn't necessarily going to happen. So we have to communicate and give people the benefit of the doubt, give them a few minutes chance to come back. And that's that. If I had to AFK right now, I have the ability to type it out, BRB, couple minutes. If an Xbox player needs to AFK, it's probably more efficient for them just to AFK and then come back in a couple minutes, right? Because for them to sit there and idle, type away, and then go AFK, that's like probably 5 or 6 minutes at that point, right? And I think that's what happens a lot of the time. Now, with that said, a lot of people do just intentionally idle too. And if that happens, well, once again, communicate. I'm telling you right now, if you go up to somebody and you're like, hey, I haven't seen you move in a couple minutes. Is everything all right? And then you come back in like 5 more minutes and they're still idle. You gave them an opportunity to move. You communicated to them. Hell, send them a whisper and just be like, yo, is everything okay? You're idle and I'm going to report you if you don't move. Like you're giving them enough warning that they can do something about it. And if they don't do anything about it, then the report is justified. But to just like see somebody idle and just report them right away makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes sense. Also, I think it's really easy to find the people who idle. It is really easy, but once again, like even when we farm, I have so many people, like either they whisper me thinking I can do something about it, or they'll be like, this person's idle. And it's the first time I've heard anybody talking about like somebody idling, and I ask them, I'm like, well, have you tried like asking them if they're there before you just assume that they're not there, right? Because once again, I think a lot of people who idle are probably just dealing with their inventory and their Xbox players, and it's an absolute nightmare dealing with your inventory as inventory is literally being thrown into your, as like items are being thrown in your inventory. I guarantee anybody on the Xbox right now in Twitch chat would tell you it's a nightmare trying to deal with your inventory while stuff is just thrown in there. So like that's what I'm saying. Like, how many people know that? How many people think about that, right? Not enough. Congrats, Robisco. And so once again, like, we just got to do better as a community.